Morning everyone, welcome back to the shed. Hope you're well today. A month or so ago I created a little video on Tamiya's F-14 Tomcat. Gave you a bit of a preview on it and some initial thoughts only a couple of hours after the kit had arrived. So I thought I'd round that up today and show you the completed model, which you'll be able to see an in-depth feature on in the November issue of Tamiya Model magazine. Can't show you too many photographs of the actual build because obviously it's going to go into the magazine. So if you do want to take a sort of a more in-depth look at it, have a look at that when it comes out next month. But I thought what I'd do is I'd just quickly round up that initial video and give you some further thoughts now that I've actually completed the model, which you can kind of see here. This is Tamiya's 1/48 scale Tomcat, all done and dusted, ready to be published. Glad to get this one kind of done, and I'm glad with such a high profile release as well that it's finished and that I can move on from this. It's always a bit of pressure when you do these kind of builds, especially when you get a pre-production sample, which is what we had, that you kind of create something that people are going to really like and it's going to show the model off to its best advantage. So here it is, the completed thing, ready to go. So I thought I'd give you a few sort of final thoughts on this. If you've watched the earlier video, and many of you have now, you'll know that I was really impressed by the kit when it first came in. I was really impressed by the levels of detail, the way that it had been engineered, and the way that it was presented to the modeler who will take time to put the parts together to create a model to put into their display case. Well, now that I've built it, I can reinforce what I said in that original video. It's always a bit of a problem when you get a kit like that, because sometimes you can look at it in the box, it looks absolutely fantastic, and then you start putting the parts together and there are odd niggles, the fit isn't quite what you want, the detail isn't quite up to standard, all of those kind of things. Well, in this case, all of the plaudits that I levelled at this, and other people levelled at this as well, such as Brett Green, who's built one of these, Marcus, who had a look at this for TMMI, plus a number of other guys that have built this for online, is fully justified in this case, fully justified. This kit is easily the best 48 scale aircraft kit I've put together so far, and I include Edouard's much vaunted Spitfire and 109 series in that, which kind of held that accolade up to that point. I can see very little in this kit that I would want to improve. Maybe odd detail tweaks here and there, little bits and pieces, but beyond that there's nothing at all. It is so well engineered as well that you can't help but smile as you're putting it together. I managed to get all of the subassembly work done on this within a couple of days, and that wasn't pushing it by any stretch of the imagination. It was just an easy project to get into, it was easy to put together, and it was fun on the way to getting it painted. One of the things that stands out about this kit is that it can be built in sub-assemblies. I've put a photograph up here that shows you what my bench looked like with all of the paint, all of the painted parts already done and laid out. I managed to build the rear fuselage, the nose, the wings, tailplanes, engines, all of the underwing weapons, everything as separate parts, and then bring the whole thing together. The fit is so good in this kit that actually some of these pieces aren't even glued in. The under fuselage fins under here, these are just pushed into place, they're held by friction. The nose is held in place by friction, and also just some glue that holds these two pallets underneath here. The rest of it is just dry fit. The wings are slid into place. The upper sections of the wings where they seal as the wings are pushed backwards, those are separate parts, and all they do is they just clip into place. I've got the other pieces here to allow me to display the model with its wings fully forward. They just slot in. The canopy just sits into place. It's absolutely out of this world. If I'd have had any problems with any of the fit, and I trialled it before I put the thing together, I wouldn't have painted it the way that I did. But what that allowed me to do was break up a very large model into much smaller pieces, and that allowed me to paint it in the spray booth. This model doesn't actually fit very well in my spray booth, but those smaller sections did, and it allowed me to treat each little subassembly as a model and then bring it all together. There are some really clever ideas in this kit, beyond the general breakdown of it. For instance, Tamiya have moulded the inside of the canopy in frosted plastic. So when you paint the outside of the canopy in its black colour, when you look inside, instead of you having like a gloss finish that you would normally get when you paint on the other side of glazing, you actually get a matte black finish on the inside of the canopy rails, onto which you then glue a small strip that holds the canopy hooks that clamp it together. It's a brilliant idea. I've never seen it in a kit before. It's the first time for me, and I just thought, why don't all the other manufacturers do it like this? It's just genius. So you've got things like that. The windscreen and the top of the upper nose is one piece, so that it just drops in. All I did then was I just painted a bead of liquid glue around it and it held it into place. The wings slotting on once you've painted them onto those movable spars. I mentioned this in the earlier video. I just thought it was a very clever idea, very simple idea as well. They just slot into place. It's things like that that have elevated this kit up a notch from what Tamiya would normally do. Tamiya's kits are always well engineered. You expect that. They're always well-fitting kits. That's their ethos, that's their design criteria for everything that they create. But in this case, that's kind of been elevated up and above what I've seen before from their other 48 scale plastic kits. Even some of their 32nd scale kits as well. It really is genius. It's just a brilliant kit. We've been crying out for a Tomcat that's easy to build. Everybody's kind of mentioned on forums and certainly on my Facebook page that they've had to wrestle with Hasegawa's kit and how difficult that is to build. It's kind of a notoriously difficult beast to put together. This thing isn't. This kit could be built by an absolute beginner who would have no problems whatsoever putting it together. It really is that good. It's just fabulous. When I first set out and posted the initial video, I'm pretty sure that there were, you know, a few raised eyebrows, feeling that because I was putting this thing together for Tamiya magazine, that I was glossing over problems with it. I know that I certainly got some flack over my comments over the slats and flaps. I stand by everything that I said on that. I stand by my feelings that Tamiya were right when they set this model up the way they did, and I'm going to reinforce that once again now. It allows the model to be set up and built the way that a real Tomcat looks. I didn't want to create something that was on a catapult. I don't want to create something that's in flight on finals. All I wanted to do was create a model that looks like the Tomcats that I've seen in the photographs that I've studied for this build. So I stand by that, and I stand by my original assessment of the kit when it came in 4 or 5 weeks ago. Having now built this kit, I can reinforce how good it is, and how much I know that people who buy this kit, and it isn't cheap, I appreciate that, it's a £70 kit, how much people are going to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey once they open the box and see the contents. A good friend of mine, Drew, is building one of these at the moment, and I know from his posts that he feels exactly the same way and has been building this with a smile on his face. And putting a smile on Drew's face is always a challenge. Drew, hi. So I'm really pleased that he feels the same way that I do, and I'm sure that he's going to do an absolutely stellar job on it, and hopefully we'll see some results of that, I think at National Championships maybe. So to anybody that is looking to build a nice kit that's easy to put together, that looks fantastic once it's done, I can heartily recommend this. And I really look forward to seeing what other people can do with this kit and how they will approach its construction and painting over the coming months. We'll certainly be looking at one in model airplane as well, and that'll give us another opinion. So this is Tamiya's Tomcat. Hope you've enjoyed seeing this little roundup of my feelings on it, and I now look forward to seeing what AMK do with theirs when that arrives later in the year. Until then, have a great day and I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye now.